I'm joined now by Bonny Lin, director of the China Power Project at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. Bonny, thank you so much for joining me. Really appreciate it.
Kristen, thank you for allowing me to join you today.
Can you put the protests that we are seeing into context? China has not experienced anything like this in decades, and I wonder what the fallout could be. Could there be a real threat to the Xi regime?
Well, that's an excellent question. I think right now what we're seeing, since we're at around day 3 of this, is not yet a clear threat to to Xi's regime. So in context, you mentioned that there are now thousands of protesters in China, but I think it's important to note that so far what we know, it's about a dozen or more locations, and at each of the locations, it's been pockets of hundreds of protesters. We haven't seen so far a location where there are thousands or tens of thousands of protesters. So in context, when we look at the largest Chinese protest in 1989, that was Tiananmen, we had up to 1 million Chinese protesters concentrated in Beijing. That's not the case we're seeing now. We're seeing pockets of hundreds of protesters in dozens, if not more, locations throughout China. So not yet the same scale, and not yet in the way that it could threaten Xi's consolidation or his control on power so far.
It's such an important point, and because we are seeing these disparate protests, I wonder if you can help us understand what's really behind them, because you have different protesters saying different things. For some, it is about the harsh COVID restrictions and the lockdowns, but for others, it's about calling for an ouster to President Xi. What are the various messages that you think need to be highlighted to help people understand what these protests are really about?
So what we've seen typically in terms of protests in China is protesters will typically grab onto something that is linked to what they have grievances about, and then it's not atypical for protests to spiral into various different demands. So as you mentioned, one demand is basically reversing or moving China from its zero COVID policy. We also see demands for more democracy, for more freedom in China. We also see demands for more greater representation. These blank pages that you're displaying right now also is a criticism of the censorship, the lack of freedom in China. So we're seeing a range of demands. But I would say the fundamental anchoring behind all the protests is zero COVID. It's China's harsh COVID lockdowns that to date, we have only seen very minor rollbacks. And as the world is watching what's happening, for example, World Cup games are being streamed in China, right? They're seeing that most of the world has returned to pre-COVID conditions, and China is so very far from that.
And very quickly, Bonny, before I let you go, this comes on the heels of President Biden meeting with President Xi Jinping just a few weeks ago. How do you expect the White House, the president, to respond? How should they respond and walk, I think, what a lot of foreign policy experts would say needs to be a fine line in this moment?
I think what President Biden and the White House needs to look at is encouraging China to really be vaccinating its population, because right now one of the reasons why China is not opening up is the fact that it's relying on the domestic vaccines, and a good portion of elderly in China do not have boosters. So I think it's working with China to make sure they have the right vaccines, and really emphasizing to the Chinese leadership they need to take the concerns of their population into consideration.
And I know I said last question, but I do have one more. What are you going to be watching for in these coming days and weeks to get a sense of where these protests are headed?
Great question. I would be watching to see if we see any more protests in the coming days, if the numbers have been increasing, and to see if, as people are getting arrested, as the police are increasing its presence, if they're having any dampening effect on the protests. Because if they're not, it could be something much larger than what we're seeing right now.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.